Blog Talk Radio.
Thank you for tuning in to The Awakening with Katina Love. Today is Friday, August 21st, 2015. I am your host, spiritual and wellness coach. My website is lotuslifehealing.com. You can connect with me on Facebook at facebook.com/Katina, Katina.love, LOVE, and the number 8. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the show to share your journey to higher consciousness and promote your life's purpose and business in the healing arts, I would love to talk with you. Also, if you have any ideas on how to improve this show, if you would like to hear a certain topic, or if you have any questions, we would love to hear from you. Towards the end of the show, we may open up the lines if anyone raises their hand and has any questions. And my email is lotuslife, the number 8, at yahoo.com. You can send all your inquiries there. The topic of today's show is gifts of the healing artist, And today our special guest is Onayemi Ogunkoye. He is a healing artist. He's a Reiki Master, artist, painter, sculptor, makeup, and costume for theater artist, jewelry artist, teacher, actor, and he practices Yoruba Tradition. And he's committed to liberation and elevation of our people. He stepped into his path at 18 years of age, and he is now 64. He says that he's had many ups and downs along the way, however, remains committed to his purpose. We're going to touch on Reiki healing. This is an alternative form of healing which is channeled through the universal life force energy and has been practiced for centuries and said to originate in the Japanese culture. Onayemi, thank you so much for being a guest on the show today. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am great. Good. So what is energy healing and how does it work?
Well, this particular healing modality that is called Reiki in Japanese, because a man named Usui rediscovered it. And when he did, he didn't say he came up with it. He had been studying and fasting and trying to figure it out, because he knew that some of the people who came before him, like Buddha and Muhammad, Jesus, the people who put hands on healing, they could do it from distance. They could do it right up on them, And so there was this technique that he was searching for, and the way he found it is he fasted for 30 days, and at the end of the fast, he was getting ready to come back down the mountain, and it was revealed to him. Okay?
Wow.
So on his way down the mountain, he healed some people and found out that some of them got angry about him having healed them because they wanted to go back to what they was doing before they got healed and had to do for self. But anyway, it is the opening of a portal for healing energy to flow through. We call it Reiki, Japanese, but in reality, well, let's say when you translate it into English, it means life force energy. We all have life force energy, or we wouldn't be walking around. But our channel, our connection is a little staticky. Like with the radio, the old radios, and you turn the dial, you start getting close to the station, you get to a certain point, you can hear it, but there's static, And when you get right on the mark, it's crystal clear. What a Reiki attunement does is opens your portal, your crown chakra, for this healing energy to enter in, and then you can call the energy and give it to yourself and to others at first degree. Okay, so it's an energy that flows from the source. Some people say God, some people have various different names for the creator or whatever, but that source of energy that we all are a part of that keeps us alive is where that concentrated energy comes from. And then you can radiate it out your hands to people. So it didn't originate in Japan, not really. That from studying that I've done, and I don't know everything.
Right. Like you're saying, there's an energy, life force, but the word Reiki it's a Japanese term, correct? Yeah.
Right.
Because the energy has been here since the dawn of time. It's always been here before humans even stepped on the planet.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
When you think about our vegetation, our plants, and our trees before we were, they were here before we were, so the energy had to be
all the
present.
other animals. The other animals, how they are so in tune with the energy that they, if you watch them, you'll know when a storm is coming. If you watch them, you'll know when an earthquake is coming. If you pay attention to them, they do things that let you know something's coming. It's in their own way of feeling the energy, but they're still in tune. Yes. Most of us are not. Well, one of the things about Reiki is that it attunes you to the healing energy. The more you use it, the stronger your channel gets. The energy is what does the work, by the way. It's not the person who's passing the energy. You become a conduit for healing energy to flow from source through you to someone or to you. So it's like copper wire is to electricity. That's what you become. We don't really do the healing. I don't do the healing. The energy does the healing. I'm not really the one attuning them. The energy is attuning them to the energy. Right. So it's an interesting place to be in terms of you're not the one healing folks. It's them and the energy that heals them. Another thing I want to say about it is, people say, well, them healing people, they got to put their hands on you. You don't have to even be in the same city to use Reiki to help somebody. The only thing that will block it is your unwillingness to accept it. You don't have to believe in it. That's because that's not how it works. It doesn't work on your belief. It works on focusing energy and sending it through a beam through the person who's sending it to you. Now, if you open to that, then you'll get benefit from it. If you're not, you won't. Right. So it's similar? I use this analogy. You know how people think about arsenic in their belief system? If you take arsenic, it's going to kill you. Whatever you believe, it's going to do what it does. And Reiki is the opposite of that. It'll help you be alive and have your energy meridians aligned and have you be able to, it'll assist you to heal yourself,
That's awesome. And I think what people need to know is that different cultures use different terms. And in the church, in the traditional church like Baptism, what have you, and the ancient scriptures, the Bible, it speaks about you should lay hands on the sick and they shall be healed. It's pretty much it's the same thing. It's just a different terminology. So you can be present in Michigan and someone can be in Alaska and you can send them energy healing and it will affect them.
Yes, of course. That's all of us are is energy, And then if you direct it, and we understanding who we are, we're children of God. What does that make us? And so the energy comes through us. We can direct it.
Right.
It's
absolutely.
Like Papa sending it to him, not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just pointing it, focusing it and pointing it over there. Okay.
Right.
This one's in Alaska.
Awesome. So what led you to this work? What led you to want to do Reiki Master?
Yeah, I've always had a willingness to assist, put it that way, which grew into a thing about healing and teaching. Even when I was a young thug, when I would be on the set when something was going down, it was much gentler because I was there, And then eventually I got, to realize about the some of the gifts that I have and how they should be used. I was about in high school, about 18, had a history teacher that taught us Black history along with the other history. Okay. For real. And that began to awaken me to who I am, And
Wow.
immediately I jumped on the path of, I got to do something to make the condition better. I looked around, you're supposed to start where you're at. Looked at my school, it was in total disrepair. We were the only all-black high school in the state of Kansas at that time. And so we organized a big protest. We had a big walkout on Monday morning and took over the whole school, kept control of it for a week, forced the superintendent of schools to come up there and talk to our parents. It was pretty intense. And thereafter, eventually, that became an academy, and they added on to it. Of course, they integrated it and, changed the name to Sumner Sabres instead of Sumner Spartans. But, that I did that when I was 18,
Wow. Wow.
And it's even
activism.
Interesting to me now to look back at some of the stuff that I've done, and lived this far. Yeah.
Amazing. So when you start feeling this energy life force, how were you about 18, or when did you first?
No. I didn't start Reiki until 17, 18 years ago. I started Reiki and playing djembe at the same time. I mean, within days of each other. I went and was attuned to first degree Reiki, and I went to a drum workshop. And later on, I combined the two. I tuned my drum, and I called the energy to the drum and through myself when I play. One of the things, what really got me on the Reiki path though was at the time I was married to a sister that had fibromyalgia. At first, we didn't know what it was. Back then, it really wasn't like it is as well known as it is now. But anyway, long story short, they had run tests. They had given her medication. She was sick. It hurt for the covers to touch her skin. That's how much pain her body was in. And along about the time they discovered, gave it a name, was about that, I had been trying to figure out what I could do. And, I work with jewelry and stones as well. And looking for some hard copy to download and found Reiki, knowing what Ki is, having been a martial artist long ago. I looked into it and, I read. I had a big, huge binder full of stuff before I finally got attuned. But I read about it, I studied it, and then I got attuned. And once I got attuned, it was a whole different thing. It was like I could give her a treatment every morning, and she slowly started to get better. Then I got attuned to second degree and third degree, where you can attune people, and it just came to me to next time my drum pops and the head's off, attune the drum, put the cymbals inside the belly of the drum, and then the drum will become the instrument, because the vibrations from djembe are healing anyway, but you can intensify them with the energy, which also sound intensifies the energy. So I attune it, I call the energy in through it and me, and then I play. And it's like an automatic thing. If I pick up a drum, that's where I go, straight there.
Wow. That's beautiful.
But they came together, the drum and Reiki came together. And I got into it. I was doing Reiki shares and all that stuff, and attuning people. The largest crowd I've ever attuned at one time, I guess you wouldn't call it a crowd, was 13 people. But when you're the one doing the attuning, things heat up, By the time I got to the end of that line, I was toast.
Wow, amazing.
So your
wife, awesome. So your wife at the time, so she was open to the energy, and that's why I expected her.
Yeah, she was definitely open. And now she's a third degree. She could teach if she wants to, but I don't think she does much teaching. But she does share the energy, though.
Okay. Did she ever release the fibromyalgia?
Herself too.
Did it ever go away?
It hasn't gone completely away because she still has bad days. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it's like she ain't bound to no bed, no have to be at home, can't move around. None of that. She's doing better. Really well. Really well.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
One of my
so
success
that's
stories.
Testimony.
To be an instrument in that happening, because it's truly the person. There are things that happen that are miraculous with the Reiki, but it's between the energy and the person.
Right.
As a conduit, you don't really have any control over. The only thing that you do is open up the portal and let the energy flow.
Right.
Absolutely.
And
that's not an only thing, because that's a pretty powerful place to be in the whole thing. However, you don't get to direct it. It goes where it needs to go. It has an intelligence of its own because it's from the creator of intelligence.
Yes.
So it knows where to go. And then you when you do a treatment, you go along the energy meridians, unblocking things and opening things up, and it's just very helpful.
Can you share those, the meridians, the energy meridians in our body? Can you share those, the energy meridians in our body?
What do you mean? Can I share them?
Yeah, what are they? Can you? Okay.
There's hand placements is what I'm talking about, where you place your hands on the sides of the head, just above the ears, over the eyes, on the clavicle. There's a little indentation along everybody's clavicles, and you find that, and then you place your hands over that on both sides. Then I think it's 3 ribs up from the bottom of the rib cage. There's a space right in there. There's behind your head, on your head, like behind your ears, on your head. Your trapezius, reaching over your shoulder onto you, as close as far down as you can get to your shoulder blade, because that'll be the traps,
Okay. And I'm doing it as you say that, and I can feel the energy as I place my hands in those areas.
Over your kidneys in the back.
Of your kidneys.
Yeah. And that's just that's what's called a treatment, However, wherever in the body there's distress, you can put Reiki there to assist it. Some people will ask the question, well, can you, somebody's dying, can you bring them back with Reiki? What Reiki does is what the person wants it to do. There have been some miraculous things, but if the person is ready to go, no matter how you feel about it, or I feel about it, and the rest of us feel about it, if the creator and the person are ready to be reunited in the spiritual realm, then that's what's going to happen. But what the Reiki will do is ease the transition.
I see. Makes perfect sense.
Because just because somebody has something going on, there may be something at a soul level that this soul is wanting to learn from having the experience of this.
I get that.
We can't change. That's like rejection. No, I don't want that, because I'm after another experience here. No matter what it looks like to onlookers. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you mentioned that you use your stones and you make jewelry. What inspired you to start doing that, to become an artist and to make jewelry?
Well, there was I was like 20, 21, and there was a need for more money in my life. And being an artist, brothers that I was working with, we had a steak and take down on 18th Street in Kansas City, Missouri. And we started twisting up aluminum wire and wooden beads and making earrings. And a brother came in the store one day from Detroit, saw the earrings, and said, "Y'all want to learn how to make rings?" And I said, "Yes." Okay. So he showed me some very basic techniques. He was from Detroit, by the way. The brothers who came up with this whole style of making jewelry came out of Detroit.
Okay. Never knew that.
And so the brother showed me how to make it, and then after investigating stones, getting stones, making choices about what stones to buy to sell, I found that stones have healing properties. And so that was the direction I went with it. Discover, get the book, study, figure out, what stones do what, so that when a person says, I've got a problem with concentration, then you give them a carnelian, because it helps with that, We work down at the city market, myself and Nick. Nick has the table with the stones, and I'm the jeweler there. It's amazing
down at
how the people
farmers market. Yeah,
down at the farmers market. It's amazing how the people who come to that stand, they come asking about things. How does this work? How does that work? What stone can I do this with and do that? Then when they get them, they come back talking about their experience of it. A lot of us know intellectually about the metaphysical, and we're willing to study it and espouse what we know. But a lot of us aren't willing to have an experience of the metaphysical. And when you start dealing with stones and the energies of stones and clearing your own self and all of that line together, it has a tremendous, tremendous effect on you when you open yourself to that energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen your jewelry, and I absolutely love it. I have a couple of your rings there. One has the garnet in the center of it, and it's wrapped in copper. And I can feel the energy when I wear it and when I touch it. It's just amazing. I've seen your pieces. I like all your pieces. You're very creative. And
they're done very spontaneously. I don't really map out what I'm going to do. I look at the stone and see where to start, and then I just do it. And that's how they come into existence.
That's that creative energy flowing through you.
Yeah. And then I paint. I also do
okay. What type of things do you paint?
There's a body of work that I did recently of the Orishas. However, my favorite subject matter is bodies and faces. And my favorite style to paint in is one that I call realistic abstract. I have these very abstract backgrounds with colors, and then in there I take the highlights of a person's face or the highlights of their whole body and face or whatever, and then only the highlights are seen. Now, I don't know if you can. It's like a negative, you know what I mean? It's just a highlight. Yeah. And then the background makes up the rest of it. And it makes the image look very spiritual, kind of ethereal, So, and that's my favorite thing to do. But I can do anything. I mean, I can do a portrait. I can make a portrait look alive. I learned from my father.
Wow.
You work from the picture till you get you get everything that's on the picture. Then you have the person come and sit for the finishing touches, because that's where the life is. The camera misses some of that. And if you get them to come and sit at the end and you put those lights, and it's not a lot of stuff, but it's just certain little things that you're going to see from the life, and it'll look like they're walking off the canvas.
That is amazing.
Got that from my pops.
Okay. You mentioned to me before your mother has already transitioned. You mentioned to me how sometimes you can feel her presence. Has she inspired you to some of this work?
Oh, yeah. She's always on my case about my gifts, what I'm supposed to be doing. Stay on purpose. Get focused. Stay focused. You're wandering away. Get back on purpose. Yeah.
So she's like your spirit guide, one of your guides, you would say?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. She's always there.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Always there.
That's awesome. Can you share a little bit about the Yoruba tradition?
The Yoruba tradition.
Yoruba, okay.
Yeah. The U's pronounced, but it's so fast you just don't, because it is Yoruba. Let's see. The Yoruba tradition.
Is it like an African tradition? Is it like?
It's West African. It's Nigeria.
Oh.
Ife in Nigeria is where it comes from. To here. Okay. And it's West African spiritual system. There's God, the one God, Olodumare. There are Orishas; those are his angels, so to speak. There's your Egun, your ancestors, your family, your bloodline that is on the other side. And that's your first line of defense in terms of dealing with the interactions between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. In the tradition, we understand, or are learning to understand, I would say, how to interact with the spiritual and physical realms, understanding that there is an interaction going on, whether you participate in it or not. You know, it's there. And there are all kinds of things that happen to let people know that the spirit realm is real. You know, but then the other side of that coin is that if you study it, you can learn to interact with it and have it help you in your life. You know, and I think what happens with people when they hear about these West African traditions that have made it over here, and they're called, you know, Ifa, they're called the Yoruba tradition, they're called Santeria, Hudun, Kondoble, Chango, all these different names for the same energies. You know, it's the same thing. It's just that, you know, it migrates with the people, and it's just like accents. You know, if you live up north, you talk one way, and if you live down south, they talk another way. It's partly just being on the planet in a different place, but it's still the same energy that they're dealing with. You know, and it's really about building good character, wanting for your brother or sister or neighbor or whatever the same thing that you want for yourself. You know, being a person with a cool head, good character, and be about creating the good condition for our people. You know, right now, that's what it's about for me. You know,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So understanding
with
you
the
are
assistance
Reiki.
of the spiritual. Say again.
Well, I was just going to say that you are a Reiki Master. Are there any other services that you offer? You give Reiki. Do you give a hands-on Reiki? Do you do a distance? How can someone reach you if they want Reiki?
I do Reiki treatments. That's you know, passing the Reiki to someone. I can do that in person or from a distance. I mean, that's just the way. It depends on the person, you know.
What they prefer.
I prefer to do it in person, but it's just as strong if you do it distance. It doesn't matter one way or the other, you know. But I do like that the person sit down and focus on the fact that I'm sending them some energy, you know. I do attunements. That's attuning people so that they can give Reiki, and I can take you all the way to Master, you know. So the full gambit of Reiki, I do all of that. I do original art. I do the jewelry. You can, you know, bring your own stone or pick a stone and have a piece made. And with the jewelry, the stones are to assist your energy in you know, being positive and helping you move forward. Can help you find your power color, which is very interesting. Like if you're reading something, studying, and you know what your power color is, and you can get a highlighter in that, or one of those transparencies to cover the page, then you will retain what you read better, and be able to recall it faster if you use your power color.
That's awesome. That's great. You shared some great information with us today. We're at the bottom of the hour. If someone wants to reach out to you, what is your phone number, or how can they reach you?
810 259 3407. I teach classes and all these different things. Art, jewelry, drawing, painting, portraits, all that.
Awesome.
Drone.
Awesome. And they can also find you at the Flint Farmers Market, downtown Flint.
Yes, at the Farmers
and the market is open Tuesday, Thursday,
and Saturday. Yes.
Okay. And what are your hours?
From about 11 to 6 on Tuesday and Thursday, and from about 10:30 or 11 Saturday till 5.
Awesome. Can you be reached on Facebook?
I can be reached on Facebook, yes.
Okay. Can you share how to look you up there?
Onayemi Ogunkoye.
Okay. Spell your name.
On Facebook.
Okay.
ONAYEMI.
And your last name?
Ogunkoye. OGUNYE.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. You shared a lot of great information.
Thank you.
You truly inspired me and taught me some things as well. Thank you, our guests listening, our audience. Thank you for listening to The Awakening with Katina Love. Namaste.
Namaste.